Great. I think we are live now. Yes. So, hi
Yes.
everyone. This is Snehal, and with me I have Nikita, and we are your hosts for
Um,
today's CGM session. And for those of you who all don't know us, we'll give a quick introduction. So, I am Snehal. I lead the Mumbai chapter here at Blue Circle Diabetes Foundation, and I've been type 1 diabetic since the last 20 years. And I've been using CGM for continuously for last 6 years almost. So yes, we'll be talking through everything about CGM, the tips, tricks, and how to use it and what not to do, what to do. And I'll let Nikita give a quick introduction of herself as well.
hey, I am Nikita. I am from Kerala, Kollam. Uh, I have been a type 1 diabetic for the past 14 years. I'm currently using my glucometer, but I've been using CGM only for a while. I've been
Okay.
using the Freestyle Libre consumer version.
Okay, great. So here both of us have experience using the Libre Pro and the Libre consumer version. So we'll be talking a lot about that. But before that, before we get into what is Libre and what is a sensor, we'll quickly talk about what is it that it is. Like CGM, like the definition of that is continuous glucose monitoring system. It's usually like synonymous between CGM or CGMS, continuous glucose monitoring system. And there's another term, like if you Google about this, there's another term that you will usually come across is FGM, that is flash glucose monitoring or flash glucose monitoring system. So there's not much difference between them. The only difference is that when we have an FGM, you have to scan it through a device like a reader or your phone to get the readings. The CGM will continuously be sending the readings, your blood sugar readings, to your mobile phone or to the particular device that it's connected with. So when we talk about basically Libre or Libre Pro, they will fall under the FGM category, not CGM. But it's okay. You can call them FGM, CGM. No worries. It's just the difference is that you have to scan it using keep on scanning it to get the blood sugar readings. That would be that. So we already talked about the two sensors which are usually available in India. That is the Abbott Freestyle Libre Pro and the Abbott Freestyle Libre Consumer version. Other than that, we have two others. One would be the Medtronic Guardian Connect. So it's like a standalone CGM. It can be used for people who are on MDIs as well. And there are other Medtronic CGMs available which work with different pumps as well. Other than that, we have Dexcom, which is currently not available in India. And today's discussion will be more focused on the Libre and the Libre Pro versions. Yes.
Yeah.
So, Nikita, do you want to talk us through the difference between Libre and Libre Pro?
Yeah, sure. So Libre is the consumer version, the black reader. It you can scan it. It also shows you values and uh, graph also. The Libre Pro is the professional version with the white reader. It only shows you graphs. And also, Libre consumer version can be used as a glucometer as well as a ketone meter. You can check your you can use it as a glucometer. You can also know your ketone level. The other one, the pro version, we can't use it as a glucometer or a ketone meter. And also, the consumer version is a bit more expensive compared to the professional one. Uh, the professional one, you have to go to the doctor to know the values, which is only after 2 weeks, every 2 weeks. So I hope that is
Yes.
clear.
So, like I just showed you, this is the reader for your Libre Pro, and as you can see, it just shows the graph. There's no number over here. So this is my
Yeah.
current reading. Is the graph, and this is this particular one, which is the black one. This is the reader for the Libre consumer version, and it will give you the reading number and the trend also. Like it will give you an arrow of where your blood sugars are seeming to go. So what we
Mm.
do is, so we have videos on our YouTube channel about how you can apply the Libre Pro or the Libre consumer version on your arms. I have one currently on, and I have decorated it with the blue circle cute stickers. So yes,
Yeah.
if you want to shop the stickers, go on our shop link, and they are like really fun, cute stickers available, and you can just decorate your sensors with that, and it's really cool to flaunt it around. So yes, so we already have videos on how to apply that and the entire technique, and we have it in a couple of different languages as well. So how to apply your Libre Pro sensor and how to apply your Libre consumer sensor as well. So you can go through those videos on our YouTube channel. But today we'll be talking about a lot about different aspects of using CGM. So the first question that people usually ask us is like, why to use a CGM? Like, what's the need of it? So what the CGM or the FGM that it does is it will check, like now we are talking about the Libre. It will check your blood sugars every 15 minutes. And physically, if you're doing it, if you're checking your blood sugars on your glucometer, you will check it what for like 5 6 times a day, 7 8 times a day maybe. It's really impossible to keep on checking your blood sugars every 15 minutes of a day. So in that way, the number of readings that you get is much higher when we compare it to the glucometer. So I think it's one of the way where you can experiment with food, exercises, different activities that you want to do, and check your blood sugars accordingly through the sensor. So whenever you're using the sensor, I what when I started using the sensor, what I did is like I it's there for the 14 days time duration. So I try to experiment with different foods and see how it is impacting my blood sugars. Otherwise, when you're working with a glucometer, it's impossible to keep on checking your sugars every hourly, right?
Yeah.
It's expensive. It's an expensive affair, not to lie on that. So again, sensor will help you in those terms. Other important thing that I feel is that you can quickly catch your highs and lows, like even before you start getting the symptoms, because you keep on scanning through your phone or through your reader. You can quickly catch yourself before you are extremely in a high blood sugar or a low blood sugars. So I think that helps
Yeah.
you to maximize your time in range. I think that is the aim for people living with diabetes, is that maximum duration your blood sugar should be in range. So that's there. And I think it's again, it's a personal preference on how you're comfortable with using the sensor or not, or if you're comfortable using a glucometer. But again, personally for me, it has been a boon. I can specifically, like if you're doing various activities, like trying out new workouts, or you're traveling a lot, or if you're having different foods, or if you don't have like a specific food that you eat every day, I think at that point of time it becomes very easy to quickly scan your sensor and get the readings, right? So
Yeah.
Nikita,
So,
why did you
yeah.
use your
I,
sensor for the first time?
pardon.
Why did you use your sensor for the first time?
Well, I wanted to keep on monitoring my sugar levels so that I'll have a clear idea about how controlled or how are my levels going. Because with the glucometer, it's not possible to check every time and know the levels. And you have to prick so many times, and it's really difficult. But with the glucometer, you can uh, only check 3 4 times, or at least 5 times only you can check. But with the sensor, it's literally easy. You can just scan it and uh, check your know your levels. And
Yes,
even if you get a low or high, it shows a notification.
yes, true that.
Yeah.
And yes, so also another thing is that when you're using the sensor, uh, that another question that we usually get asked is like, should we continuously keep on using the CGM, or should we
Mm.
not do that? So like I said, that I have been using the CGM continuously since the last 5 years probably. Like I change it, I replace it after every 14 days. So again, it's an aspect of convenience, because again, the sensor is very convenient. You can quickly scan it, understand your blood sugars, quickly catch your highs and lows. So that is one aspect, that convenience. Another aspect could be the financial aspect of it, because there's no denying that even if you want to use the Libre Pro or the Libre, again, it's an expensive affair. So you have to take care of all of this, your convenience, the finances part of it. And also another thing is, it's not necessary that you be on the CGM continuously. Initially what I used to do is, like, I used to get a CGM sensor once a quarter, and that really helped me to be on track. Because what happens is, when you're living with a chronic condition like diabetes, you usually slip somewhere, right? You lose track of things that you should do. And I think if you apply the sensor, it usually brings you back on the track. It lets you know what your blood sugars are, and again, I think it refocuses your energies onto the right track. So again, it's not necessary to continuously be on the CGM, but again, depending on your convenience and what your aim is when you're using the sensor, I think that is important. But again, even if you're not continuously using it, I would say that at least once a quarter, like once in 3 months maybe, 3 or 4 months, you should get on the sensor. And I think it really helps you to get back on track. That would be my personal opinion on that.
Yeah. And also, Snehal, I wanted to ask, while doing activities like in the water, swimming or something, can we put it on and swim, or
Yes.
can
So
we put the CGM?
yeah, it's very convenient. The glue of it is like really strong, so it stays put for 14 days. There's even if you're sleeping, even if you're bathing, it doesn't come off. And not sure exactly with swimming how long will it last, but I know a lot of kids that use the sensor, and they do go to the swimming classes. So I think for a few hours that should be fine. But I don't know if you're like a long time swimmer, like if you're doing like a swimming through a creek or something, or a lake or something, I'm not sure how effective the glue would be. But swimming for a few hours should be fine. Even it doesn't come off when you're sleeping, or if you're taking a bath. I think the only thing that you need to be cautious about is, like, if you're clumsy like me, if you're applying like a body lotion or something, and then accidentally you just do like this
Yeah,
sort of a motion, then it may come off. If there's a force or like an immediate jerky motion to that sensor, it may come off. But otherwise, like, you just have to be a little careful when you're applying a body lotion, or like dealing with that area, around that area. But other than that, I think it's really convenient, and it doesn't come off, and you don't even feel like there's something on your arm, like specifically that.
yeah.
Another question that we get asked is, where do you exactly apply your CGM sensors? So basically, the recommended site is your upper arms, like the portion, this portion, like the other
Mm.
half of your upper arms is the recommended site. But I know a few of us, like Rohan, they have also put the sensor on their thighs as well, and they have checked it, cross-checked it with glucometer, and the readings come accurate. So that's there, like depending on your convenience. And if you want to get to know more about how the effect of a sensor is on the thighs, you can get in touch with Rohan through our buddy project helpline, and book a call with him and get more information on that. But for me, I have always used it on my arms. I think it's very convenient for me that way. And you can keep on rotating, like, uh, once I put it on my right arm, and then I put it on my left arm, and then you have a lot of area over here to play around with, right? And again, like leaving 3 fingers from the top of your arm, and 3 fingers from your elbow, I think this entire region is available for you to place your sensor at. So I think that talks about placement. And again, like, always site rotation is important. Don't just stick to one arm, or like this one part of your arm wherein you're putting the sensor. Keep on rotating your arms, keep on rotating the site wherein you're placing your sensors at.
Mm.
Yes. Okay.
So,
Any other questions, Nikita? We'll take that.
yeah, how accurate is the sensor?
Yes. So this is another question that we come across a lot, is how the accuracy of your sensor. So honestly, I don't trust my sensor readings in the initial 2 days when I put it on, because there's something called as calibration that you need to do. So what I do is in the initial 2 days, when you're only on basal, there's no active bolus in your body. You check your you check your blood sugars on your glucometer, and then you put that reading onto any app that you have. So basically, for Libre users, we connect it through Glim, and through that we connect it on the Blue Circle Diabetes app. So once you put on the manual readings, what you get in the glucometer, I think that if there's any difference between your sensor reading and the glucometer reading, only then you should calibrate. So you get the sensor reading when you scan the phone. Let's say your blood sugars are at 100, and when you are checking it on the glucometer, let's say your blood sugars are showing 150. So there's this difference of 50, right? The only acceptable difference would be plus minus 20, 30 maybe. But other than that, if the difference is more than plus minus 30, 20, you should calibrate your sensor. So calibration, like I said, when your body is only on basal, there shouldn't be any active bolus in your body, and only that time when you're checking it on your glucometer. So that blood sugar reading would be basically your fasting readings, or maybe your 3 a.m. readings, or if you're not eating anything in between after your lunch and dinner, if there's nothing, when there's no active bolus in your body, that would be the right time for you to take that blood sugar reading for calibration. And once the readings are pretty much similar, like nearby, I think then I'd start trusting my sensor reading. But initially, like I said, in the initial 1 or 2 days, I think I find it really difficult to completely rely on my sensor readings. So that's there again, like calibration is required. And like we talked about earlier when Nikita was telling us the difference, you cannot calibrate your readers as such. So that's why where we use the Glimp app. It's convenient, and you need an NFC enabled phone to use the Glimp app, and I think it's only available on Android. It's not available for Apple users. So again, you can take note of that as well. And we have a lot of blogs, detailed blogs on which phones work with the Glimp app, which are the latest models that are working with the sensor, and people's experiences on that. And you can go ahead and get a list of that entire, like the phones models that work with the NFC enabled phone models, which will work with your sensor. So you can go ahead and take a look at the blogs. I'm sure someone will add it in the comments, all the blog links. Okay. We'll take a few questions. Okay, Nishta says that Libre sensors have made her life so much easier. Yes, definitely. I am also a Libre, like a sensor convert now. I cannot live without the sensor, because again, I don't mind checking my blood sugar 7 to 8 times a day. But again, it becomes really convenient, right? If you want to check your blood sugars at any point of time, and you can quickly scan it through your phone. So that becomes really, really easy. Okay, Deepika's question, I think we have already answered how to get correct readings with the CGM and calibrate. We have all of these details mentioned in the blog also, and this video will be saved on YouTube. So if you have missed certain points, you can watch the video again on YouTube on how to do the calibration. So again, for everyone, like I said, you can calibrate your sensors when you're. So what calibration means is, like, you try to match the sensor reading with your glucometer blood sugar readings, right? So how do you do that? So you check your blood sugar on your glucometer when your body is only on basal, there's no active bolus in your body. So particularly for normal people, like who have like a 9 to 5 work schedule, or like 9 to 5 college, or like school or something like that, that would be your fasting, maybe your 3 a.m. readings, or if you're not eating anything between your lunch and your dinner. So basically these three readings could be useful for calibration, and you calibrate only if the difference between your sensor reading and your glucometer reading is more than plus minus 20 or 30. Otherwise your sensor readings are perfectly normal, you can start trusting them. I think that would be one of the things.
Next question by Vidya is the care to be taken while using CGM.
Okay, yeah. So I have like a list of points that I usually take care of. So like I said, for the first 2 days, I don't trust my sensor readings completely. I usually cross check on the glucometer like every other day. I check my blood sugar 7 times a day and cross check it with the sensor readings. After the calibration is done, only then I'll start trusting the sensor reading. And even after that, I do check my blood sugars, let's say once or twice a day, even when I'm on the sensor. That would be the first point. The second point is like when you apply the sensor on your arm, don't activate it immediately. I think this is from personal experience. I let it sit on my arm for like 20-30 minutes, let it adjust to my body, and only after that I activate it. I think I have faced this experience like when I applied the sensor and immediately activated it, it broke. It broke in like a couple of days. So me and Nupur sort of discussed what to do, what not to do, and this is something that we came across. Is like once you apply the sensor, let it stay on your body for like 20-30 minutes, and after that you can activate it using the reader. So that's there. Another thing is like sometimes what happens is like your phone's NFC could be really strong, and we have seen people who complain that because of the NFC's strength, the sensor has broken. So what I usually do is, let's say, so I know that for me, my sensor, the NFC, the connectivity is somewhere over here. So when I scan it, I don't actually touch it exactly on the sensor directly. I I keep a little bit of distance. Like I don't touch it. I don't touch it directly like this. I keep a little bit of distance, and
Okay.
it's an NFC connectivity, so it will gradually pick up your readings. So you don't have the need to actually touch your phone on the sensor directly. I think that has really helped me in like not letting the sensors break because of NFC, or like if your phone has a really strong NFC. And like I said, we have an entire list of the phones that work with the Libre and the Libre Pro version. So you can go through the blogs. We have already pasted the link of the videos and the blogs in the comment section, so you can go and check on that as well. And again, I think these would be a couple of points. And another thing is like for a few people, we feel that they complain that they get rashes when they're using the sensor. So one of the things could be that maybe you are allergic to the glue which is there on the sensor. So what immediate solution that you can use is you can probably apply a Tegaderm. So Tegaderm is basically like it's a medical sellotape sort of a thing, and you get it locally in your pharmacies as well. So and there are different sizes for that. So what you can do is you can apply the Tegaderm, and on top of that you can put on the sensor. So what that does is like the sensor glue is not directly in touch with your skin. There's a layer in between. There's a layer of Tegaderm in between, and your sensor will still be in place. So I think that is also one of the tips that a lot of people use. And like I said, for clumsy people like me who are always worried that your sensor may fall off, or you may be like little harsh on it and not take care of that, so again you can apply the Tegaderm on top of the sensor as well. And I think there's another tape, the sports tape. I think the kinesiology tape. I think it's available on Amazon. You can apply that also, the one that sports people or athletes use. You can apply that also on your sensor, so that you are assured that it's not going to move and it's not going to fall off. But again, like I said, it's very thin, and you are hardly ever aware that it's there on your body. And once you get comfortable with the idea of having it connected on your body, it becomes really easy. You don't actually feel like there's something heavy on your arms, or like you are not like cautious about it. So I think that would be a little bit of tips and tricks on working when you're working with your sensor. Okay. Okay, Deepika's next question is, I'm on the insulin pump. Insulin is going in the body 24 hours. How to check the calibration part? So, calibration will be the same even if you're on the pump or if you're on MDI. You only have to notice that you don't have any active bolus in your body, and when you check your blood sugars at that point of time, you add it in the app. And again, like I said, we connect the sensor through Glimp and through the Blue Circle Diabetes app. And I'll quickly show you how the Blue Circle Diabetes app's UI looks like. Um, okay. Okay. So yeah. So, so this is how the Blue Circle Diabetes app's UI looks like. It is connected to my sensor, and I think my reading right now is 138, as you can see. and it
Yeah.
becomes really convenient because over here you can see like those three circles that give you your time in range, how much time you were in hypo or you are in hyper, and also has a feature for an estimated HbA1c again. So if you're not using the Blue Circle Diabetes app yet, I would highly recommend that you go ahead and download the app. It's available for both Android and Apple users, and it's an app made by diabetics for diabetics, and we have incorporated all the difficulties that people living with diabetes face and try to inculcate that in like a one stop solution. And you can add your blood sugar readings, you can add your insulin, you can add your food, you can take pictures of your food and add it. And you can also log your blood sugars manually if you're checking it on the glucometer, and like I said, we can connect it to the sensor as well. Okay. Do we have any other talking points before we move on? Okay, we'll take a few questions from the comment section over here. Uh, okay. Another question is that if your sensor comes off, can you reinsert it again? It's not possible, because once you put it in, you have to ensure that it stays in, and if it comes off by mistake, then it's gone. You cannot reinsert it again in your body, and there's no way you can reinsert that, because the applicator tool that comes in, it just works once. And again, if you need any information on where to buy it, or whom to get in touch with to buy the sensors in your area, please DM us and we will be more than happy to help you out with that. Again, we have a question from Vidya. She says that I faced failure at the sensor after 3 days and then started working on the fifth day again. Okay. Another thing to take note of when you're using the sensor. Now, let's say if you're sleeping on just one side, on the sensor side of your body for a really long time. So what it does, it also it may give you false highs or false lows. So what happens is, like, when you're sleeping, you don't know how long you have been sleeping on that one particular side, right? So at times what happens is, like, it may give you like a really bad low, it may show like 20s or something like that, and it usually happens. So what you need to do is, again, you can calibrate it. You check your blood sugars on your glucometer and then add it on the app, and then once you add it, it will just, the graph will reformulate itself, and it will show the correct readings. So again, don't be scared if one day you wake up and you feel and you see that your sugars have been like 20 or 30 throughout the night. It may be a false low or it may be a false high. So again, like I said, if you feel that your sugars are showing extremely high on the sensor, I always recheck it with the glucometer, because again, technology can fail you at times. No matter how much of a boon it is, you always have to cross check. If you feel that there's even a little bit of doubt, that you feel that if your symptoms are something else and the sensor reading is something else, always cross check it on the glucometer. I think that will really help you to stay on track. Okay, we have question from Ayaz, I think. Why does Libre take time to show the accurate reading? It's very slow to catch up. Okay, again, this is a most commonly asked question. So when we talk about why the sensor readings are a little, so usually the sensor readings are a little lagging when we as compared to when we check on your glucometer. We have a nice pictorial. I'll put it in the comment section over here, which will explain you that why the glucometer reading and the sensor reading are a little lagging. Because basically what happens is, when you're checking it on the glucometer, it's basically your blood, and when you're eating your food, it immediately assimilates in the blood, right? But when you're talking about a sensor reading, it works with your interstitial fluids, and for that, for when you eat, the sugars will be completely assimilated in your blood first, and then it starts going to other body parts, and it takes a little time to reach to the interstitial fluids. So that's why there will be a little bit of lag. And I'll, again, like I said, I'll put on the pictorial somewhere in the comment section over here, and that will in detail explain you why there's this lag between your glucometer reading and your sensor reading. But it's basically the difference between your blood sugars in your blood and the blood sugars that you see in your interstitial fluids. I think that will be the best way to describe that. Um, Okay. Okay, Karuna's question is why sensors stop working after some days. Is there a sensor fault or it has to handle? So, like I said, there could be one or the two things is like if the sensor has definitely has stopped working randomly, in spite of you taking all the care, is like you can get in touch with the person from whom you bought it, and check the batch number, because what happens is sometimes there's a faulty batch of sensors which will not work. I have faced that issue. My 2 3 sensors back to back had stopped working, and that's when I got in touch with the person from whom I bought it, and they immediately replaced it, saying that it was a faulty batch of sensors. The second thing that can happen is like we just talked about, if your NFC is really strong, that can cause the sensor to break. So like we already discussed, the tip would be to not to touch your phone directly on the sensor. Keep a little bit of gap, and your phone will take the readings of the sensor, so don't worry about that. Your uh, readings will come on your phone, but again, don't touch it directly. I think that has really helped me. Initially I used to face a lot of issues with my sensors breaking on the fifth day or the sixth day, and it won't be replaced then, right? So always like ensure that you're keeping some gap between your sensor and your phone.
Yeah.
Okay, I asked question is sweating will cause it to fall off. No, I haven't faced that issue as such, because I have used this. I have used the sensor in gym when I'm doing like a lot of intense activity, treadmill running, maybe Zumba, maybe boxing, maybe trekking, whatever it is, and wherein you sweat a lot. I have never faced that issues on my arm particularly. Like it has never come off because of sweating as such. And I always ensure, like even when I'm gymming, I always tap off the sweat on like nearby the sensor if there is any. So there are like a few things that you have to be a little cautious about, right? You can't always just be like array, like sensor, like you are put on the sensor and then you just forget about it. You have to be a little cautious, like I said, like when you're taking a bath, just be a little careful around this area. Like what I did once is like while taking a bath, I just randomly hit it really hard and it fell off. Or like if you're working out, ensure that you're a little cautious when you're on the sensor. And once this you develop this habit, it becomes really easy. You will become like habituated with having that sensor and what to do and how to take care of that. Other than that, I don't think so. Like sweating has definitely never been an issue for me. Okay, I have this next question, compression low. I think we just talked about that. Also, Nupur has answered that question already. Compression low is when you're sleeping on the same on your sensor side for a really long time, your sensor may show either a false low or a false high. So what you do is like you calibrate your sensor again, and the graph will recalibrate itself also, and you will get the correct readings again on the graph. Mm, okay, so again, guys, if there are any other question, please feel free to add it in the comment sections, and me and Nikita are just reading through them and like trying to answer to up to the best of our knowledge. And again, if you want to have like a one-to-one discussion with any of our dia buddies, you can get in touch and book a call with any one of us on the Blue Circle Buddy Project helpline. It's a free and available for all. Psychosocial helpline. It's the India's first helpline available for all people living with diabetes and their caregivers. So if you have any question regarding with the sensor or anything related to diabetes management or mental health issues, you can get in touch with one-on-one with any one of us and book a slot and have that discussion with us over there. In case if you feel shy to ask your questions in the group or in the Facebook group. And again, our Facebook community, it's a closed group, and everyone here is very kind and very supportive, and they will always share their lived experiences with everyone. So again, we always reiterate that this forum is not a medical advice forum. It's where people are sharing their lived experiences. So it's for you to try and check your blood sugars continuously and experiment a little bit on how you can make your diabetes management better.
Yeah.
Again, yeah, so we see a little note on calibration that has been added in the comment section over here. And you can, again, this video will be saved on our YouTube channel, so you can go back and recheck on what we talked about, how to calibrate, and what to take care of when we are using the sensor. Am I visible? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Am I audible, visible?
Yeah, now you're visible.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. And the screen just froze for a minute over there.
Mm.
Okay, Ayaz has asked another question. If we want to show the readings from the sensor to the endo, what's the best way? How can we download the data? So I think again that's where the Blue Circle Diabetes app has been really really helpful. Over there we have a report section wherein you can get a set of quick readings and a detailed readings, and you can get like a 1 week of data, and you can send it on your send it to your email, and you can go ahead and check it. And it's exactly, and it's designed in the exact same way. The chart that you get when you're using the reader, it's the exact same graph that you will get using the Blue Circle Diabetes app as well. So I think that, and again the advantage over here is that with the reader you cannot calibrate your glucometer, right? You
Mm.
cannot calibrate your sensor, but when you're using the glimp and the Blue Circle Diabetes app, you can calibrate that, and the readings are more accurate than when you check it with the chart that you get from your sensor readings. So again, I think the best way would be to use the Blue Circle Diabetes app. Keep on checking, like connect the sensor via Glimp app to the Blue Circle Diabetes app, and download your weekly reports, or like from the Blue Circle Diabetes app report section. So I will just quickly show you that as well. Mm, okay. So over here you have the reports section, and once you click on the reports, you get two options over here. One is quick
Mm.
report, and the other is a detailed report. Uh, so quick report will sort of work like your CGM. It will give you like minute by minute update of your blood sugar readings. And when you click on the reports tab, it will give you like this weekly format. So if you click on any of the tab over here, you can email that. So the email will be directly sent onto your registered email ID, and you can download it from there and then go through the entire readings. And so there are like a lot of different charts which are available on the graph, on the detailed report. And again, like I said, it's the best way to use your sensor would be to keep a track of everything that you're eating and the exercise that you're doing, because only then you will be able to backtrack it. Let's say you want to understand why there was a low at this point of time, and if you don't have a log of what you have eaten that point of time, or like how much insulin you have taken, or what workout did you do, it becomes difficult. So the best way to make the most of your sensor would be to keep a track of your food, your insulin, your activity, your gym, your workouts, whatever it is. Keep a log of that. And like I said, the Blue Circle Diabetes app is a one-stop solution for keeping a log of everything related to diabetes. And again, you can just backtrack and check what food you have eaten, or what activity did you do that may have caused your blood sugars to go high or low. There's another question from Karuna. Life break. Yes, I know it's a painful thing to prick your fingers again and again, and like keep on checking your blood sugars. And I know every one of us has gone through that phase wherein you don't want to check your blood sugars, right? But once you reach that stage wherein you want to know your blood sugars, you want to have a better quality of life. And trust me, diabetes will not stop you from doing anything. You can do anything and everything that you wish to do. You can see a lot of examples in our community itself. Like Nupur here runs marathons, and we have type 2s as well, who have been doing a lot of brilliant activities, not just in terms of like physical activities, like again like traveling, gymming, swimming, running marathons, triathletes, trekking, dancing, you just name it, and you can do anything and everything. The only thing that you have to take care of is that your blood sugars need to be in range, and the only way to do that would be to check via the glucometer or through the sensor. So like that's what I was saying. Like Nikita just shared with us that she checks her blood sugars on the glucometer, right? So
Mm.
again, and you have to keep a log of that. And I prefer using the sensor because it's become
Mm.
really convenient for me to use the sensor. So again,
Mm.
the ways may be different. You can use glucometer, you can use your CGM, but the end point of everything is you need to know what your blood sugars are, and your aim should be to have maximum time in range, basically. Not to be
Mm.
hyper most of the time or not to be low most of the time. Your aim should be to have maximum time in range, and I think then there's nothing that will stop you from doing whatever you wish to, right? Any thoughts
Yeah.
on that, Nikita?
Um, yeah, it's important to know our blood sugars on a daily basis. Uh, that's it.
Yes, yes. Again, like even for me, when I was growing up, I think through my teenage years, I was also I also had that rebellious phase wherein I didn't want to check my blood sugars at all, and like there were days, like 3 4 days, maybe I didn't check my blood sugars, and again,
Yeah,
I'm sure
it
everyone
happened
goes
to
through
me
those
also.
phases. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think once that phase passed, and I started connecting with the community a lot more, I could see how everyone else is taking care of their diabetes management, and I think that's what inspired me a lot to work on my personal diabetes journey as well. And I think that has been a boon, I think, to connect with the community and learn from each other, I think, because it's very important when you're living with a chronic condition that requires 24/7 attention, right? You have there's even while you're sleeping you need to be attentive. So I think it's very important to be connected, stay connected, and learn from each other on how you can better your diabetes management, and uh, learn each other's tips and tricks. I think that's one way to go about that. We also have
Mhm.
another question is like, for everyone who have been using CGMs, do you think it has made your life easier or not? Like, let us know in the comment section below. I think personally for me, it has definitely made my life easier in terms of doing whatever I want to do, and like even if I want to eat out, or if there's any unexpected situation where I don't have food with me. So in that case, it becomes really easier to keep a track of that. Again, Ayaz has raised an important point, is that it has definitely made life easier, but it comes at a price, and you have to put in a lot of effort and money as well. Yes, again, absolutely right. We already talked about that in the beginning. Like the convenience and the financial part of it is what is important, and what will help you decide if you want to start using the sensors continuously or not. Yes, and again, like if you have any questions on sensors, CGMs, how to apply it, tips and tricks to use it, we have discussed everything in this video today, in this workshop today. And like I said, it will be saved on our YouTube channel. So if you want to watch it again, you can go ahead and do that. And but yes, definitely. And it's not like I always say, it's not always necessary to be on the sensor continuously. Like Nikita over here, she has used it for some time, and now she's using the glucometer. So you
Yeah.
can work that way also. And you can be on the sensor continuously as well. It's a personal preference, is what I feel. And again, if you have any questions, feel free to let us know or connect with us. Nikita, do you have any questions or anything else that you want to share with us?
Um, is it necessary that we should use the glucometer along with the sensor?
So, like I said, initially calibration, when you do, you need to check on the glucometer, and then
Mm.
once you start trusting the readings more, I personally check it at least once a day. I cross check on the glucometer. So
Okay.
the number of times you prick becomes really less, right? If I'm not on the sensor, I check 7 to 8 times a day, and when I'm on the sensor, I check it maybe once or twice, at the max twice I check it. So again,
Mm.
that will again depend from person to person. And like I said, if your symptoms are different from what your readings are, it's always better to cross check on the glucometer. So I think only then you need to check on the glucometer. Otherwise, but again, always carry your glucometer with you. There is no escape from that. Like maybe your sensor has stopped working, or like it just fell off or
Yeah.
something like that happens. It's always important to have a backup. Your glucometer needs to be there with you everywhere. Karuna is asking a question to you, Nikita. How long have you used CGM?
I used it on and off, not continuously, like for 3 months. Then I've stopped it and used glucometer. Then again after 3 months, I've used it. So it's been like on and off for me. Currently, at present, I'm using glucometer.
I think that also really helps, like I said, for you to keep a track, like get back on the right track in terms of what you're eating. So again, like we said, not necessary to always be on the sensor. You can keep it on and off, maybe once in 3 months or once in 4 months, just to get yourself back on track and keep a note of your blood sugars. I think then it becomes really helpful. We have another question from Rajiv on the development of non-invasive technology. So I think there's been a lot of discussion and news regarding non-invasive methods of blood sugar testing, right? Like glucose sugar testing. So it's basically through your sweat, maybe through your ear wax. I mean, I have heard weirder things, like you can test your blood sugar through your tears or something like that. But again, it's still not. It's just in the initial phases. It's still not approved by any of the medical associations out there, not FDA approved as such. So unless and until we have a full clarity on how it is working, how effective it is, how accurate it is, I personally don't think I will be able to trust it, honestly. Being a type 1 diabetic since 20 years, I think I will trust my blood more than my tears or my sweat, or anyways, because I think that's because honestly, like medically speaking, blood is where your blood, like your sugars will impact the first, right? Maybe on your
Yeah.
tears or your sweat it will be like at a later stage. So maybe there will be a lot of lag, is what I personally feel like. Again, don't quote me on that, I am not too well researched on that aspect of non-invasive technology. But again, unless and until we have approvals from medical associations, and again how cost effective it is, that will also play an important role in letting the patient start using that. And again, I have not heard of anyone like completely shifting from glucometer or CGM to non-invasive technology for sugar testing. So again, I think we still have a really long way to go in terms of technology development for blood sugar readings, like sugar readings. But again, like I said, like there have been news on checking your sugars through tears, through sweat, through a earwax or something like that. But again, honestly, as of now, I haven't digested that fact yet. Like I said, I will trust my blood more, the readings that I get through my blood more. Yes, it sounds really funny, right? When you say that I'm checking my sugars through my sweat, or I'm checking my sugars through my tears. I mean, I don't know how that's going to work. But again, there are no bounds or limits to technology, and we really hope that something better comes along. But till then, we have to make the most of what we have with us right now, is your glucometer and the sensor. And I hope everyone keeps on checking their blood sugars regularly. Don't lose touch with that aspect. At least like 4 to 5 times a day you have to check if you're living with type 1 diabetes. And again, I think we have covered all the questions. And yes, this was fun. I think we are dot on time today. um,
Yeah.
okay, Jacob says that CGM is a good option except the financial part. Yes, unfortunately, government is not supplying sensors as such to anyone. We know that insulin is available at government hospitals at cheaper rates. But then again, other aspect of it is that you have to physically go to the hospital to collect the insulin and other medical stuff. But I don't think so. The government is providing the blood sugar test strips or the sensors yet. So I think in India we still have a really long way to go in terms of insurance coverage, universal health coverage for everyone that would cover all of your diabetes supplies. As of now, we are not there yet. And again, the government hospitals as of now are not providing sensors to the patients. But I think we can just look at the good part of it. At certain places, you still get insulin, so at least it covers a little bit of your financial expenses over there. Okay. I think that was a great session, and we have completed dot on time. Like I said, all the links and the YouTube videos regarding the sensor Libre Pro sensors are already pasted in the comment section of this discussion. Again, this video will be uploaded on our YouTube channel, so you can go back and re-watch it in case you have any questions. Another way to get in touch with us would be through the Buddy Project helpline. You can schedule a call with any of the buddies to have a one-on-one discussion with us. And again, do not forget to follow us on all social media platforms. We are there on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, Reddit, Clubhouse, you name it, and we are there. So show us some love and support. Go follow us on all social media handles, and we can talk more over there as well. And you can get a glimpse of behind the scenes that happen at here at Blue Circle Diabetes Foundation. So again, I think that would be all. Thank you everyone for joining us on a Sunday evening and spending your time with us. This would be me and Nikita signing off, and we'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.